Perfect.
STAKK Nation Crypto Warriors, welcome back to the channel. Shoo-woo. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Crypto Warriors, STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel. Let's get going here. In today's show, we're going to be talking about some Bitcoin, of course, and then we're going to be jumping into some other news that went down over the weekend. We have Paxful speaking about delisting Bitcoin. Then we're going to be talking about some stablecoin wars, and of course, Bybit has an announcement. KYC activity. With no further ado, let's jump right into this thing here, right after I confirm that everything is live. Just one moment. All right, so we're going to take a look at some price action here on Bitcoin. I think it was pretty interesting yesterday. Well, Bitcoin is currently trading around $16,979. Yesterday we saw about a 1% or about 1.6% pullback from $19,000. Let me share my screen here. This way we make sure we're all on the same page. So as we can see here, Bitcoin has been hovering around $17,000 there. This is the Fibonacci indicator which we have going on here. Now we saw it pull back to about $16,979, sitting just above that 1.68 Fibonacci sequence there. This is usually an extension from when it falls below the 1 Fibonacci. Usually it's unlikely that it comes all the way down here. Now this is also the 4-hour chart, so we just have to wait and see what happens here. Looking at on the daily chart, that same Fibonacci, the 1.618 point, is at 18,618. Now there's a lot of articles out there with people saying this could be the bottom for Bitcoin, but you know, I have my doubts given the current environment that we're in at this time. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, I have a little video here that I'd like to share with everyone. This comes from way back, right? If you've watched the Bitcoin phenomenon from way back in the day, this is one of let's see, what is his name? I have to get his name right here. Just one moment. Sorry about this. So this is from one of the original Bitcoin contributors, right? And they speak about I think Gavin Andresen is his name. So he's a lead developer on Bitcoin, at least back in the day. And he speaks of a point in time, right? Sort of predicting the future of Bitcoin. And I'd like to share this with you guys, and I'd like your take on this, right? Your comments in the chat to see what you think of this. And he speaks about a time in the future where we get over exchanges, and then people kind of realize that Bitcoin is the true, I guess, the king of the crypto space. All right, so with no further ado, let me pull this video up here. And very interesting. While doing some research, and I think this could possibly be, maybe we are at this point right now, right? So let's check this out. All right, there we go. That one. All right, so here we go.
I think we're going to go through a phase where there's more centralization because there's kind of a natural monopoly that will happen with exchanges. But then I believe that eventually we're going to grow out of that, and the Bitcoin economy will sustain itself. And there's really very little friction because it's really designed to be this decentralized peer-to-peer currency. And, I have no special ability to predict the future. Um, so I might be wrong.
Well, Bitcoin has the potential to be a subversive currency.
So that is it there. A point in time where there is this higher point of centralization due to the exchange, the monopoly with exchanges, which I would like to believe that we're currently in that place. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, right? Because it seems to me, I mean, that is from 8 years ago, right? And we've all seen it. We've gone to this point where we've seen the centralization. Well, we're kind of going through that phase right now, if you ask me. From FTX and all the other exchanges fighting over market share, pulling shady tactics, right, to, I guess, be the king of the crypto space, or the king of scams, if you want to call it that. But very interesting situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, I think I'll follow that up with this here. Paxful, right? If you're not familiar, Paxful is a peer-to-peer exchange, a platform where people can buy and exchange or buy and sell Bitcoins, right? I believe it was no KYC for the longest of time. But I think the last time I went on Paxful, they asked for my ID. So, hey, the moment we start pulling out IDs, man, it's not anonymous anymore, right? So there's that. However, at some point in time, right, Paxful had also listed Ethereum. I get it, it's business, you have to make money. It is what it is, right? Not matter the game player, it's all good. Now, here's what is happening at this point in time. Paxful to delist Ethereum following push for integrity post FTX. I feel like FTX has been the ultimate cleansing of the crypto space. What do you guys think? So Bitcoin maximalism ramps up as Ray Youssef says dropping Ethereum is a responsibility Paxful must fulfill regardless of user demand. This man is saying he's saying no to money. Or is it just because he's worried about getting attacked on Twitter? Twitter is vicious, man. Twitter is absolutely vicious. People will not take no breaks on Twitter. Anyway, Ray Youssef, CEO and co-founder of Paxful, announced plans to remove Ethereum from the platform and said the revenue is nice, but integrity trumps all. Well, I think we'll have to wait and see how deep does that integrity run, right? Because I think a lot of times, a lot of things like this happen, but there's always another temptation around the corner. So good for Ray and good for Paxful, if you will. But when I saw this made me think of that video, right, where we go through this phase where Bitcoin comes back, at least its use case, right, and its purpose comes back shining through as it was intended. Now, moving on here, first of all, before I move on, let's see if we have some comments. We have Rick says, not for centralization. Not too sure what you're referring to here, Rick. I feel like I've said a bunch of things, but absolutely. So moving on here, there is a stablecoin war, as we already know by now, after the whole situation with the requirements for proof of reserves from, the everyday investors, Twitter mob, anyone, right? We saw that a lot of exchanges now have to put up a proof of reserve. As a matter of fact, if you look on CoinMarketCap, they actually have an indicator. I guess it does not show here, but I think on the phone you will now be able to see there's a small icon that shows the proof of reserves, which you can click on that to view the reserves for whatever exchange that you're looking at that point in time. Interestingly, I want to point out that Dogecoin is just number 8 behind XRP right now in market cap. And Dogecoin is 8% down in the past 24 hours. That is interesting. I always look at coin market cap with taking that with a grain of salt. Now, moving on back to what we were on, Coinbase urges customers to ditch Tether. Of course, this is a couple days that this has happened now over the weekend. So Coinbase is dropping transaction fees for USDT to USDC conversion. The move is a shot at rival stablecoin issuer Tether. The firm is touting transparency and stability for its own coin. Quite interesting. I'm going to combine both articles here. And of course, Tether could not let that slide. So Tether CEO criticizes Coinbase for asking users to convert USDT to USDC. Now, after Coinbase had asked its customers to move over, I mean, the shots were really not that heavy, but still happening. So Tether CEO Paulo Adrino criticized the decision of Coinbase to ask its users to convert USDT to USDC. Other Twitter users have also questioned the move by Coinbase. Of course, as we know, if we actually just hop back onto CoinMarketCap here, you see that USDC is still in 5th place. Currently does not carry as much value as Tether USDT. They're in 3rd place. Of course, USDT has been around for much longer than USDC is, but at the same time, we know that USDC, in many ways, we could really just say it's a CBDC of sorts, right? For sure, we know Circle and these guys definitely spend a lot of times with the feds, a lot of information being shared with the feds. When we talk about crypto and decentralization, I think that that is far from what it is, what these guys are up to here. Now, the other side to it is we have people, at least I've seen on Twitter, where people mention that maybe USDC or Circle has concerns and would like to find a way to make sure that they have more revenue pumped into their coin. Who knows, right? But the battle carries on. Stable coins, tracking everyone, or at least USDC is definitely one of those coins that is very shaky. We also saw yesterday, I think I was keeping an eye on this, which is actually what I had clicked on. It seemed like, I don't want to say an attempt at depegging, but the peg of USDT was shaky at some points last night. I had an alert on this on TradingView, and it was just interesting to see what was going on there. Let's take some comments. Crypto in the house. BK Crypto says, it's funny how they just dropped your fees to counter. Yes, it is funny how they dropped their fees to counter. It means they could have gone with no fees for the longest of times, which is one thing I've not understood about Coinbase before. Why are we charging all these fees? Because I'm pretty sure, I get it. You have to make money. But when you look at the competitors and other platforms where you could use your USDT without necessarily paying fees, well, it kind of makes it difficult. I mean, let's say in my case, buying Bitcoin, using something like Strike, no fees. Why would I use Coinbase, right? So definitely, I think they could have removed those fees way before now. But, these people are just exposing themselves. It is what it is. We have Virgo in the house. He says, what up, everyone? What's up, champion? Jake Fever says USDC wants to steal some customer funds. USDC wants to steal some customer funds. Listen, man, I will not put it past these people. I think they have shown their colors now for a very long time. So if you can think it, they can do it. Good morning, fams. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you. All right. Never liked USDT for some reason. That is interesting. Why is that? I would ask if you can expand on that in the comments. That would be pretty awesome. Right. We'll jump right back into the show here. We have an announcement from Bybit. Now, when we talk about decentralization, Bitcoin, right? This whole crypto space, and I think sometimes I sound like a broken record for this, but I always like to go back to the whole reason why we're in this crypto space. To begin with, other than the fact that we are just now in this place where the regulations are very loose, we have people trying to enforce regulations or things that are not, clearly in place and clarified to all participants in the market. We just find ourselves in a place where there is some things that seem like unregistered securities hanging out, some claiming not to be. But on one side, we have enforcement on these things. So Bybit announces a new KYC policy to be implemented after December 15th. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but we're just going to go right to the meat of the agenda. This KYC policy then is just saying if you're using Bybit with no KYC, which is know your customer, there's going to be a daily withdrawal limit. So this is about applying limits to withdrawals, right? And we've spoken about this on the show before. When you lose your freedoms, you don't get them back. And this seems to me like a precursor for such a thing. We're talking about setting limits for your withdrawals. The traditional banking system, it really limits your withdrawals. I'm pretty sure it started from somewhere higher and now we are where we are. Why do we need to have limits on extracting our own value that we put into the system, right? I get it. You probably want, at least in the description, or just from a logical standpoint, you would think they don't want a run on the bank to happen with your exchange. But I think that is something that we need to find a solution around. So non-KYC, right? You're going to be limited at 20,000 USDT, right? Withdrawals daily, and of course 100K monthly. If you have level 1 KYC, I think level 1 KYC is for retail users. And then, of course, there is going to be a business version, or I guess a level 2 KYC. And for level 1, daily withdrawals is going to be 1 million and no limit for monthly. And for level 2, 2 million daily and no limit monthly. Oh, then there's also the business KYC, which is a limit of 2 million. The other articles which I read kind of combines the level 2 and the business KYC. The reason why I think that this is not good, essentially, to put it clear cut, is the fact that we start from 2 million, we start from 20K, and we start dropping from there. I don't think it's going to be a reversal in the other direction. But at the same time, if you look at it in many ways, this is just a roundabout way back to the same garbage which we have right now, which is the traditional banking system. This is not crypto, at least as it was presented, as it was promised to the society. And I really think that this is one of those things, again, where we're just ending up in the same place where we started. Just same thing, just brighter or shiny wrap, if you will. All right, we're going to look at some comments before we close this one out here. We have Jenin Hayes says, what's up, Warriors? All right, there we go. Everhop is fees. This is crazy. I'm not sure what you mean there, BK Crypto, but I think you're referring to the stablecoin fees from Coinbase. Now, Jake Fever also says, I don't get why people use USDT or USDC for more than 1 or 2 minutes. Stop trading, buy and hold. The only way to go, absolutely. Buy and hold, and most importantly, hold it off the exchanges, I'll add. So totally agree with you there. USDT for me, look, USDT for me was never trustworthy. None of the stable coins seem to be. I see them as new kids trying an old game. Just my 2 Satoshis though. I agree with you. I will not hold it for a long period of time. If we look at the situation with Terra, stable coin, right? Gone, just like that. So especially when you could see the stable coins moving on the chart. I think that is something that is very interesting, very nerve-wracking at points, depending. And of course, Rick says, I don't know. I think exchanges like BitTrue that force you to purchase USDT to leverage trade crypto, I don't like. Something that's not, I mean, leverage is definitely not a good thing, and brute forcing people to buying USDT. I've never been on BitTrue. I gotta go check that out. That is absolutely crazy. The purists who thought all the world was gonna be decentralized and free, that is not happening. Well, this is true. Absolutely, it's not always going to be 100% free, but I think we can definitely try to fight for the remaining freedoms that we have somehow. And furthermore, I will also say that we can definitely push back, right? Because I think over time, history has also shown us that whenever we get to this point of high centralization, right, people can only be oppressed or pushed for so long. There is going to be pushback. So despite what the traditional finance system says, or what they have in mind, despite everything that they've set up, every giant falls one day. So I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful. I do think that at some point in time, the traditional system is just not going to be able to keep going as it is. They still control the on and off ramps for sure. But I think if we self-custody our Bitcoins, and at some point, I don't know, maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point when people start transacting heavily in Bitcoin, I think that the institutions will have no choice than to change their position, because ultimately, with no consumers, there is no business. So that's what I would say for that one. This is all for the show today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys found it absolutely informative. Double O is still in the motherland. Should be returning next week. So excited. We'll see what we have in store. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Definitely follow the Gentlemen of Crypto on Twitter and YouTube. Follow us on Twitter as well. We stay quite active on there. And of course, subscribe to the STAKK YouTube channel. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Brazen out.